You could be working hard, saving money, even investing, and still be stuck. Why? Because the real wealth killers aren't obvious. They're hiding in plain sight, things you actually believe are valuable. Today, I'm exposing 10 so-called assets that look like wealth but secretly destroy it and keep you trapped in the rat race. Anyone can fall for these traps. They're built into the system, sold as success, and normalized by our culture. But once you see them for what they really are, you'll never look at money the same way again. Let's break the illusion and start building real wealth by first cutting the financial dead weight. 1. New cars. Buying a brand new car is one of the fastest ways to lose money while thinking you're doing the right thing. The moment you drive it off the lot, it loses around 20% of its value instantly, and by year 5, most vehicles have depreciated over 60%. That's not investing. That's lighting thousands of dollars on fire. And it's not just the price tag. With new cars come higher insurance premiums, taxes, and registration costs. You might be paying $700,000 a month for something that's losing value every single day. And here's the trap. Car ads are designed to sell identity, not transportation. You're not just buying a vehicle, you're buying the illusion of success. The wealthy understand this. They know a car is a tool to get from A to B, not a financial asset. That's why many millionaires drive used vehicles. They save the difference, invest it, and let their money grow while others stay trapped under car payments. The shiny new car might impress your neighbors, but it won't help you retire early. Number 2. Timeshares. Timeshares are sold like luxury vacations with a smart ownership twist. But behind the glossy brochures and beachfront photos lies one of the most financially destructive traps in the travel world. When you buy a timeshare, you're not buying real property. You're buying limited usage rights, tied to restrictive contracts and never-ending maintenance fees. Those fees? They don't go away. In fact, they usually increase over time, even if you never use the property. Want to cancel or sell it? Good luck. The resale market is so flooded that many people literally give away their timeshares for free, or pay third-party companies thousands to get out of them. And the saddest part? Most people don't use their timeshare enough to justify the cost. With platforms like Airbnb and travel deals everywhere, locking yourself into one destination for life is not just outdated, it's financially reckless. A vacation should relax you, not follow you around like a ball and chain. Number 3. Designer clothes and accessories. High-end fashion is one of the biggest illusions of wealth. We're taught to believe that owning luxury items signals success, confidence, and status. But let's break that down. Designer clothes, handbags, and accessories are not assets. They don't grow in value. They don't generate income. In fact, most start depreciating the moment you walk out of the store. Some luxury items are marketed as investments, but the truth is, only a tiny fraction of rare pieces hold or appreciate in value, and even then, it's a speculative game. Most of the time, you're paying thousands for branding, packaging, and social signaling. Meanwhile, your bank account is bleeding, and you're left chasing the next seasonal trend. The truly wealthy don't need to advertise it. They value quality, yes, but they also understand that real power comes from financial freedom, not wearing a logo. Minimalism, smart tailoring, and functional fashion win over expensive flash. Stop dressing for other people's approval and start dressing for your future. 4. Lottery tickets. The lottery is often called a tax on the poor, and there's a brutal truth behind that. It preys on hope, offering a fantasy of instant wealth for a tiny price. But let's look at the numbers. The odds of winning a major jackpot like Powerball are about 1 in 292 million. You're more likely to be struck by lightning multiple times. And yet, Americans spend over $100 billion a year on lottery tickets. Why? Because when people feel trapped financially, the lottery becomes a form of escapism. It's marketed as empowerment, but it's actually exploitation. You're not investing, you're donating to a system that rarely pays out. Imagine if you redirected even half of that spending into a basic index fund, or used it to build a skill or business. Over time, the return would be tangible, compounding, and life-changing. The lottery sells you a dream, but real wealth comes from action, not scratching tickets. Unused subscriptions and memberships. They seem harmless. $10 here, $20 there. But unused subscriptions are one of the most common silent killers of wealth. Streaming platforms, apps, fitness memberships, premium newsletters, they all auto-renew while you're not looking. And if you don't check your statements, Those small charges become annual money leaks totaling hundreds, even thousands. The worst part? They give you a false sense of productivity or belonging. You feel like you're doing something good for yourself, being informed, getting fit, upgrading your life. But if you're not actually using them, you're just padding someone else's business model. The rich stay rich because they constantly review and optimize their cash flow. Every dollar has a purpose. Do a subscription audit every few months. Cancel what you don't use and reallocate that money into something that pays you back. Small leaks sink big ships. 6. Overpriced homes. We've been sold the idea that your home is your biggest investment. But that's not always true. When you stretch your budget to buy a large or luxury home, you're not just taking on a bigger mortgage, you're committing to higher taxes, higher utility bills, bigger maintenance costs, and often longer commutes. And here's the kicker. Your primary residence doesn't generate income. You're not renting it out. You're not getting cash flow. It's a lifestyle choice, not an asset. If most of your net worth is tied up in your house, you may be house rich but cash poor. Bigger homes also feed lifestyle inflation. More furniture, more decorating, more keeping up with the neighbors. Instead of buying the biggest house the bank says you can afford, buy the smallest home that fits your needs. Then invest the difference. That's what people who build real wealth do. 7. Credit card debt. Credit cards aren't the problem. Debt is. When you carry a balance, you're handing over your future income in exchange for short-term convenience. The average credit card interest rate today is over 20%, meaning if you carry a $5,000 balance, you could be paying over $1,000 a year in interest alone. This isn't just expensive, it's devastating. Interest compounds against you, turning small purchases into long-term burdens. And because credit is so easy to access, most people don't realize how deep they've gone until they're drowning. The wealthy use credit cards strategically for rewards, protection, and convenience, but they always pay in full. If you're using debt to fund your lifestyle, it's time to reset. Cut back, pay it off, and stop giving banks free money. 8. Trendy tech and gadgets. The tech industry thrives on one thing: planned obsolescence. Every year there's a new phone, a new laptop, a new smartwatch, and each one is just better enough to tempt you into upgrading. But here's the truth. Most people aren't using their current tech to its full capacity anyway. That $1,300 smartphone depreciates 50% or more within 12 months. Tablets, smart TVs, wearables, they don't hold value, they don't generate income, and most of the time, they're status symbols disguised as productivity tools. It's emotional spending wrapped in sleek packaging. Instead of chasing the latest gadget, ask, will this make me more productive, more profitable, or more fulfilled? If not, it's probably a toy, not a tool. The wealthy invest in tech that scales their income, not drains it. 9. Useless college degrees. A college degree used to be a ticket to the middle class. Today, it can be a debt sentence, especially if you pick the wrong one. Some degrees cost 6 figures and offer little to no job market value. Meanwhile, you're paying interest on loans that follow you for decades. Not all education is equal. You need to measure the return on investment. What's the starting salary in your chosen field? What are the employment prospects? Is there a shorter, cheaper path to the same outcome, like trade schools, apprenticeships, or online certifications? Knowledge is still power. But in today's economy, it's not just about learning, it's about leveraging what you learn. Choose wisely, or you'll end up with a diploma and a pile of debt you can't escape. Number 10. Luxury lifestyle upgrades. As your income rises, so does the temptation to reward yourself. Better car, nicer clothes, fancy vacations. You tell yourself you deserve it, but this is lifestyle inflation, the silent destroyer of financial progress. The trap is this: the more you earn, the more you spend, and suddenly you're stuck in a bigger version of the same rat race. Your bank account doesn't grow, your freedom doesn't expand, you just look richer on the outside while staying broke on the inside. True wealth comes from delayed gratification. It comes from investing the difference between what you make and what you spend. The flashy lifestyle might impress people for a moment, but long-term financial freedom is what really turns heads. You've just uncovered 10 so-called assets that quietly destroy your wealth. These aren't just mistakes, they're normalized behaviors that most people never question. But now you see them for what they are. Ready to build real wealth? Start cutting out what drains you and start investing in what grows you. If you got value from this video, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs a financial wake-up call. We're not just here to look rich, we're here to be free.